What's up, everybody? So glad you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, pips and hoes, you're now watching the Fight God show. I told you I'd hit him with it one of these days, Nico. What's going on, bro? Ben's up there in a snowstorm, can't leave the house. It's a blizzard up there in Maine, in Canada, wherever he's at, bro. What's going on, Nico? How's it going, man?
You don't give a fuck where you at. Yeah,
He's on the
Ohio,
border.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh, wherever the fuck. Who gives a fuck, man?
Ben is the man. He's like our international super spy, man. He's in Canada and he's in the United States.
He got dual citizenship.
Yes, bro. And look at the mustache, man. He's like the coolest young old guy I know, man. This is my boy right here. Yeah. What's going on with you guys tonight?
Oh man, I'm cool and chilling out in Rhode Island right now. I got a week off or so before I head back to Strong Island to get some more work in. Other than that, I'm just kicking it with the kid. How you doing tonight, Ben?
Like Willie said, we got a bit of a snow deal going on up here, so haven't been doing much of anything. We'll see what happens in the morning when I got to dig myself out.
Yeah, you got to work tomorrow. Dang.
Nah, tomorrow's a day off. Thank God.
Okay, cool.
My kiddo's got to get to school, so we got to dig a path to the bus.
They're gonna have school with all that snow, bro?
Oh hell yeah, man!
Shit, they shut down school here for like a month if it snows one time, man. It's crazy, ridiculousness, man. Growing up on Long Island, we had a lot of snow. I remember like around 1990-ish, we woke up to like over a foot of snow on Thanksgiving, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, man, around here, if it snows, bro, we're shut down for like. Chili Willie's in the building. Chili Willie, tell him, man. I'm over here telling him how crazy it gets in North Carolina if it snows, man. You would have thought that damn fucking it's the rapture or something like that, bro. When it snows here.
Back on Long Island before I was a dad, snow days used to be my favorite day to pop some shrooms. go fucking crazy in the woods.
Nico's got problems, man. He's got some problems. So look,
straight up boomers. Yeah, hey, that's facts.
Now that Ben's like a full-time cast member, I was gonna roast him when we started up. That's what I was gonna say. The whole coolest young old guy I know, and then I was gonna show a picture of his half Indian brother that's fighting on bare knuckle tomorrow night. He's right here. And this dude's name. So this dude's name is Jorge Gonzalez Roland. And that was my idea.
I feel like I'm on shrooms right now.
I was going to fuck with Ben a little bit, right? But I was like, but first I got to look at this guy. So I look into it. There's bare knuckle fighting tomorrow night. It's a fight night, whatever. I'm not real crazy about the card. There's like a light heavyweight title eliminator. Jenny Savage is fighting, and also Taylor Starling. Besides that, it's kind of bullshit. This dude's on the early prelims. But, bare knuckle, they want to be legit so bad. And I feel like they're trying hard. But I looked this guy up, okay? And his record in regular boxing, 0-10, and he was knocked out 8 times, okay? Then I looked at his MMA record, and he was 1-2. So in combat sports, he's 1-12 and been finished in all but 2 fights.
Let's
How
go.
the fuck are they ever going to be legit?
But I got a chin though.
Hey, he doesn't have a callback.
That's a callback.
Hell yeah, it is. Chili Willie said, hell yeah, if it snows in NC, even talk of snow, it's a state of emergency. For real, bro. They shut the shit down, man. That shit is crazy. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of that? It seems like they put a lot of fighters who you wouldn't even think could get a license. And they put these guys in there, and basically they're just cans walking to the ring to get knocked out. I mean, in his first BKFC fight, he lost in 24 seconds by knockout. I don't think I would have asked him to come back. I wouldn't ask him to come in the first place when he's 0-10, but basically it's no better than like regular boxing padding guys' records. On the prelims here, we got some horrible records.
I think that they're still in the early stages of the company, though, and I think that you can see that in boxers early stages of their career as well with them fighting cans, and those cans have been around for a while, they're there to take a beating. So, I mean, I don't look at it as any differently.
Here's my problem with it, and then Ben, I'll let you answer. But I mean, when you get in there and you see these guys that could get their asses kicked by the referee, there's a problem. This dude probably would get his ass whipped by the ring card girls, the referee, whatever. I mean, if it fucking gets windy outside the arena, he might not make it inside.
But the only difference is he's willing to do it.
Yeah. Hey,
he's willing to step in that ring versus the legit guy that's gonna fucking put him on his ass, and the ring girl isn't, the ref isn't.
That's true.
It's a lot of people wouldn't take that.
If he was a wrestler, what would be his credo, Ben? Come on, I know you know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was gonna say as far as like the BKFC right now. Every sport's got their jobbers / enhancement talent, right? I mean, like these guys need a job, and the other guys they're fighting need a hand up or a leg up on the competition, like at a step up. So like every sport's got jobbers. This guy's just a jobber, I guess. He's the Brooklyn Brawler of BKFC.
He's pin me, pay me, bro. Give me a hot dog.
Job squad.
For real, man.
Hot dog and a handshake, man.
Fuck yeah. Hey, look, when I started up, I took hot dogs and a handshake every once in a while. I mean, shit.
Bro, my first three shows that I worked on, I made a T-shirt as my payday, a DVD as my payday, and like and like food basically. Like I worked for literally whatever they'd give me. So
hell yeah. Hey, Chili, you'll like this, man. One time, me and Coach Josh Gary, we were in like a 4-way dance, whatever the fuck you want to call it, against Spank, who I know you know, Joey Sylvia, and Frankie Baker, the great promoter that wouldn't let me wrestle you. And we were in the middle of the match, and of course, the dude that was the promoter was going over. Ben, I'm sure you've seen that a million times. So the finish of the match, we didn't really have a good one planned out. Me and Josh just left and went to the concession stand. And I was like, look, bro, we're not going to get paid. Let's just go to the concession stand and get something to eat. While they're wrestling, we just went and got a soda and a pizza and started eating it. And then they finished the match with us out of the ring. And we were like, oh, shit. Like, we missed it. We couldn't break up the pin. But literally, that was the only way we were going to get paid is if we just went and got it like it was part of the match. So that was just one of those things, man. That was all. That's all Mount Airy was paying back then, Chili Willy. But yeah, man. So anyway, big fights this weekend. You guys want to just go ahead and get into them, or do you want to talk about some of the other happenings in MMA and boxing and all that kind of stuff first?
Get the easy stuff out of the way first.
Easy stuff out of the way. I like it, man. Well, Ben, like I told you last week, the night that Nico just dipped on us, and we had like the most epic ending ever. That they were talking about this Nick Diaz versus Kevin Holland fight, and now apparently Kevin Holland is calling for the fight. Ben, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I guess I saw that he, I don't know if it'll actually happen where Kevin Holland thinks he wants to drop to 170, and that's kind of what he's working towards because Nick's probably going to want to fight at 185. But he said that ever since he debuted on the Dana White Contender Series, he's wanted to slap the slapper, and he thinks it would be a great fight between him and Diaz, and that he thinks he would be able to outstrike Diaz on the feet. I mean, I'm interested in the fight because you know that if they give him any sort of like promo time, that the pre-fights will be pretty epic. But
oh yeah,
I'm not sure that Nick would want to fight at 170 if that's. I mean, Kevin would obviously fight at 185 if he got Diaz. He'd fight wherever Diaz wants, but
yeah,
it would seem like a weird stop on his transition to 170 if he were to fight Nick.
Yeah, Nick is like the king of like 178 or something like that, man. I don't know if he'll ever actually fight him.
Wasn't it fight week? Wasn't it fight week that he decided to change the weight class between him and Robbie Lawler?
That wasn't the one that got changed 3 times. No, that was Paulo Costa. Yeah, you're right though. It was definitely like a week or so out. Woodley will KO Paul in the rematch, and remember Connor will go heavyweight. Chili Willy, man, I can't jump on board with Woodley, man. He's just not busy enough. But we'll definitely get into that. Probably next week, but yeah, early indications. I don't see Woodley pulling it out, man. I just don't think that he stays busy against enough these days.
I'm going with Jake, but I think Woodley is going to be very dangerous.
Yeah,
very dangerous.
You are going with Woodley?
No, I'm going with Paul, but I
okay.
think Woodley's going to be very dangerous.
Do you think he's going to come out there like a little more reckless this time?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Really, he's
More
got nothing to lose.
aggressive.
He's already lost. Yeah, he's already lost to him once, so I mean, he's got really nothing to lose. So he might as well, might as well go for it. But yeah, like I said, we'll definitely get into that next week because the fight is next weekend, I believe. So, but yeah, so another thing that we wanted to touch on. Oh, Nico, did you want to say anything about that? About that fight between Diaz and Kevin Holland potential?
Oh man, I would love to see that. Honestly, and like Ben was just saying, it could be either Diaz, brother. If he's serious about that chop to 170, I'd like to see it versus Nate. If Nick does say that he wants to take the fight, stay at 185 for one more fight, and just take the fight because I would love to see that striking. I want to see who get the most slaps off. Didn't he say that to homie when he slapped him? He said that's that Diaz shit.
Mm-hmm. How much shit talking would be going on during the fight if him and Nate or him and Nick fought? I mean, would they be having like a full blown conversation, like a discussion about?
Well, him and Nate would for sure.
Yeah, Nate. I think Nate talks to himself a lot during
Nick's
the fight.
a little crazier, so you don't really know what's going through Nick's mind. He's a little crazier than Nate is. So
yeah, he's strange these days.
Yeah,
he might start crying in the ring.
God, I hope not, man. I still Nick Diaz, the legend, man.
Why are you talking to me like that? I don't even know why I'm in this ring with you right now.
Yeah, for real.
The media put you up to this. The media put you up to this.
I thought you were Usman.
Yeah, so I don't know. But moving on from that, Nico, do you want to talk some about Deontay Wilder? Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if that's facts or not. But they said that he was thinking about moving to cruiserweight. But then Ben had shown me something that said he was considering retiring. So I don't know what's going on with the kid right now, man. But what I do know is Tyson Fury ruined that man. If either one of these reports is true, Tyson Fury ruined that man. You don't just see no heavyweight leaving his weight class and dropping down.
Yeah, that's true. That's
not how that goes. Not when you built like that, man.
Well, they mentioned that it would be a new weight class, right? That they were creating this super cruiserweight division.
Super cruiserweight. I don't know what that would be, but I do know cruiserweight ends at 200, and I think that's where Canelo trying to be at.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, the thing that I had read there said that Deontay, and this is pretty, this is usually the nail in the coffin for most athletes anyway, is when they say what Deontay said, which was, I've accomplished everything I've wanted to accomplish in this division, basically, or in this sport. But it's what you said, Nico, is Tyson Fury ruined this man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got no confidence left, and he thinks if he can't beat Tyson Fury, he's got nothing left to do in the weight class. And I don't know if that's true, but also at the same time, if you don't have the confidence to go out there, why go get your head kicked or your head punched in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's weird because heavyweight starts at 200 pounds, but there is a tweener division that WBC started in 2020 that is 200 to 224 pounds. So I'm wondering if they're going to do like 224 to like 230, 235, making up the weight division. I don't know exactly what it would be, but it's just weird, man. I don't know. We'll see. It's weird when you get those dueling reports. It sounds like a Conor McGregor kind of day. I'm done. I'm retiring, but I'm coming back in a new weight class in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that he does. It's funny, though, that this came out today because last night I watched like a little marathon of Wildin' Out, and the Deontay Wilder episode was on there. Did you see that, Nico?
I didn't, but like last night I was watching an episode of Cold as Balls with Deontay Wilder and Kevin Hart.
Oh, for real? Oh, yeah, okay.
That's the episode. I don't know if you finished watching it or not, Nico, but that's the show that he was on where he mentioned. I think that was the show that he was on. Where he mentioned.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, where he mentioned that he didn't really say the word retirement, but like he said, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I'm not sure where my head's at. Like,
yeah, I gotcha. Elsewhere today, Ben, you sent us some stuff earlier about Dominick Cruz and DC. Nico, basically, Dominick Cruz was saying that he mutes the TV when DC is commentating because he doesn't do his homework. What do you think of Cruz saying that, Nico?
It's not very company friendly, coworker friendly, man. It's not a nice thing to say. But then again, I mean, you smear my name on Facebook all the time, so I mean, I can't like.
Hey, bro, when you send me pictures of like tacos and vegetables all dripping in ranch, I'm like, boy, bro, I gotta do it, man. I mean, I can't let you slide, bro. You're like the ranch bandit. The ranch bandit strikes again.
On the ferry ride from Long Island back to Rhode Island, I got chicken tenders, and they only had buffalo sauce and ranch, and I did utilize the ranch. I'm not even gonna lie, I did. Man. It is what it is.
Barbecue sauce? Have they never heard of barbecue sauce?
I didn't want that. I wanted like wings. Like I wanted buffalo wings, and that was the closest thing I could get to them.
It's funny because last night I was eating some carrot sticks and blue cheese. I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of this and put it on Facebook and fuck with Nico. And I'm like, but the thing is that if you take a picture of blue cheese, it kind of looks like ranch. It could have just been like Nico be like, oh, is that some ranch? You can't really see it unless there's like big chunks. And the blue cheese that I had wasn't very chunky. So anyway,
let's go. We're 20 minutes in. I'm on number 2. Let's work.
Hey, man, I got the Arizona, bro. But if you want to come at me tonight, Nico, I'm gonna grab the twisted tea, and you know what happens then.
Yo, let me tell you something right now, Will. Twisted tea ain't the only thing that busts on faces.
That's true, man. That's true. But I'm going for the twisted tea anyway. I gotta go for the big pot, man. I gotta try at least. So Nico, you said that you in the chat, you said that you normally mute the fights anyway because you don't really like the commentary.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that's my favorite thing to do is mute the television. I watch the fights, and I normally talk to Joe Bear and Moses in a group chat about what we see that's going on, who we see winning the rounds.
Yeah,
we score them ourselves in there. Yeah, then we do it just like honestly, like it's no like, all right, this is my favorite fighter, so I'm pulling for him, or you're listening to biased commentary and you're kind of agreeing with shit. Nah, none of that shit. We do straight up eye test. Or I like being in a bar setting or a party setting where everybody's yapping and bullshit, and then you got to really focus on the fight to see what's going on. And then post-fight interview, I tell everybody in the room, shut the fuck up. We listen to that post-fight interview, and then everything commences. That's it.
Ben, before I get your opinion on this, I just wanted to point out that, I told you guys the other day I was watching UFC 217, and I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. I love his commentary. But he said right before Rose put Joanna on her ass the first time, he goes, Joanna doesn't want to do this. This is not good for her to fight in the pocket. And boom, she hits Joanna and Joanna falls down. Stuff like that, I'm sure, is what Nico's talking about. But it was kind of funny because literally it was almost like a spot in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like they had it planned out where Joe would say that and then the opposite thing would happen. It was kind of funny.
When I do have to hear it, like if I'm around a group of people that want to hear it, and there is a group on there, I like Anik, DC, and Rogan. I like them a lot. I like when Felder's on.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I like Bisping. I do. I think.
Yeah, I like when Bisping's on. Bisping.
He's corny. Yep. He's corny, but he's funny.
Yep.
But Ben, go ahead. I know.
Everybody can be super critical of the people that they have there, but I think all of these men are speaking intelligently, and they're doing the best that they can. They're giving us play-by-plays, and they're doing a lot better than just some fucking schmo. You can't just put Stephen A up there. You can't just put Kellerman there. It would be dope.
Can we put Skip on there, man?
No.
Hey,
Helwani would be dope.
How good would it be Okay, you remember when they did Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber as like the alternate commentary for Dana White's whatever Dana White's little thing is? How good would it be if they put Skip and Shannon on like the alternate commentary? It would be fucking bananas, man. It would be hilarious.
Snoop, Uriah, and Rogan.
Yeah, that would be good. And the other guy that I used to like was Brian Stan, but he's no longer with the company. But I thought he was a really good commentator. But Ben, go ahead, man. We're talking too much, man. Let's go ahead and hear what your thoughts are on this.
I think it doesn't surprise me coming from a guy like Dom Cruz. I mean, he's very critical of a lot of things, and I think that comes from he's a very intelligent guy. So he approaches the commentary job just as he does his fighting career. Like, he approaches it with the most he puts the most work into it that he possibly can. I think this is the cool spot for the UFC, though. They have a lot of different commentators that all bring something different to the table. Like, there's nobody who's so glaringly bad like there used to be that you're like, oh shit, I can't stand this guy.
Hey, you leave Mike Goldberg alone, all right, pal?
I'm not even talking about just him.
People
like
bury him, man. People bury him too much.
For a while there, Brendan Fitzgerald was pretty green and like didn't bring a lot to the table. Felder for a little bit. It took him a little while to transition from just being a fighter into being like a commentator guy too. But like they all bring something unique. Yeah. And just because DC doesn't do as much homework doesn't mean that his perspective isn't as worthwhile as, say, like Cruz's or John Anik's. Like,
right. The thing about it, in my opinion, is that DC is more entertaining than Dominick Cruz. Whether he knows all his homework and stats and all that shit is one thing, but he's an entertaining guy. You know what I mean? And that's what the fights are. They're entertaining.
Well, so Cruz approaches his commentary like he's an accountant or something. Yeah. Like, he's very boring in his approach, but he's very intelligent. Like, he explains the how and why of things. Yeah. While DC will be like explaining the wrestling and the grappling. And I mean, did you see this past weekend? It was the Chris Curtis fight. DC's like, Chris Curtis needs to put his hands on it, do the baseball grip, and Chris Curtis is like, thanks, DC, and does the baseball grip. And
I was saying that during this shit, like he was giving literal step-by-step instruction to some of these motherfuckers ringside. It's in the Apex. They can fucking hear you.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's crazy, bro. It is, but it's also like you're fucking the other guy, man.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what happened in that situation. He literally says, you got to get the baseball grip on the right hand. And Chris Curtis literally says, thanks, DC, does the baseball grip and slides out. And then it changed the whole complexion of the fight. I mean, they shit all over Dan Hardy for screaming at Herb Dean when, I think it was Jai Herbert was getting his head beat off the ground. And they're not going to say something to DC for literally giving corner instructions to a guy.
That's his job to a certain degree about, like, pointing out the what should be the obvious, especially if you're a fighter. But I feel like that's more on Dana White and where they have these dudes sitting. Like, they don't need to be ringside, especially because they still have the monitors there and they're watching.
Yeah, they're watching it from the monitor anyway.
Get them out of there, bro. Put them elsewhere.
Yeah, man. Or like build them in like a hockey box, like the penalty box.
Or do what WWE used to do. Have their table over by the entranceway.
Yeah.
Like, you know how WWE, when they split the brands, they always had Raw like way up in the corner.
Yes.
Yep.
Put the commentators up in the back corner so they're not right there. It's like you said, they have the monitors anyway.
Yeah.
That would make for good moments anyway. When fighters were leaving, they'd stop and like dap them up and shit. Like, it would make for dope moments anyway. So I think that they should get them out of there, man. Especially if you're in a place like the Apex. It's one thing if you're in the Staples Center with the crowd and the environment and everybody screaming their ass off. I'm sure the fighters can't hear jack shit anyway when they're in the ring, adrenaline running high. But it's the fucking Apex, man.
Yeah, it's like a high school gym.
Yeah, bro.
You know.
But as far as this goes, I think it's just it's Dominick Cruz just being Dominick Cruz. I mean, he's kind of a prick.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is more or less just him being him. And
who's doing that? Who's giving back the echo of the show tonight?
That was me for a second.
Yeah, was that you, Will? Because you called me out last time.
Man, that's because you're echoing, man.
Don't do that.
Echo.
Don't do that.
Echo. Nico, it's for a second, man. Calm
Rookie
yourself.
moves, man. Rookie moves.
Calm yourself, Nico.
Our viewers deserve better. What kind of
Better
audio experience is this? You see my man Ben over there muting himself for the cough. Nobody would ever know that if I didn't say shit. Because he was so smooth with that. If you over there giving back the feedback and shit mid-show, 28 minutes in.
It happens, man. It happens, but it was kind of cool because he said like Dominick Cruz being a dick or something like that, and the echo was Dominick Cruz being a dick. That was actually kind of funny, but anyway, besides that, Ben, talk to us about Eagle Fighting Championships main event in Florida.
All right, so this is the first time. This is the first time that Khabib Nurmagomedov's Eagle FC is making it to the U.S. So they want to put together a big show.
Big drama
so
show.
The first head scratcher that I saw was Rashad Evans coming out of retirement to fight. Now Rashad had lost, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 in a row before he left the UFC.
Nah, man, he only lost like 2.
No, he lost like 5 in a row.
Legitimately 5 in a row.
My boy AC Divine in the building. What's up, Andrew Campbell? That's my boy. Just wanted to point that out.
Some
Say
of
hello
those
to Andrew.
controversial decisions, though.
And okay, and so like I scratched my head, but I'm like, all right, Rashad might still got some left in the tank, right? Like he wasn't getting brutally knocked out, so maybe he's got something left. And then they go ahead and announce the main event. Tyrone Spong, world-class, legendary, 107 kickboxing matches under his belt. Tyrone Spong. He's only lost 7 of those, by the way, so do the math, right? 100 wins in kickboxing. Is going to fight Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Now, here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem with this. Tyrone Spong has he's gone to boxing because after he broke his leg in kickboxing, he switched to pro boxing, in which he's 14-0 in pro boxing. He's 2-0 in MMA, and he's got 100 wins in kickboxing. Bigfoot Silva hasn't won a fight since 2013, and that's across kickboxing, MMA, and bare knuckle boxing.
Yes, bare knuckle. Yep.
And it's not like this dude is losing decisions. He's getting put to sleep.
I don't understand what you're trying to say about the man.
What kind of main event is that? Like you were mentioning earlier, like putting cans together and like when does a commission step in and say no? Like that's my question here, because this is going to be a legitimate murder. Like this, what the hell is this?
It's horrible. Nico, trivia question real quick. Look at me, not the phone, man, because I'm gonna ask you this question. I don't want you looking it up.
Who's the last guy that Bigfoot Silva beat?
No, not that. But I mean, yeah, that's definitely a good question. But Nico, who was Bigfoot Silva's only BKFC fight, which he got knocked out in?
I already know the answer.
You don't? Or you?
No,
do?
I do.
Former UFC fighter, former #1 contender in the UFC heavyweight division. I'm even giving you hints.
I'll give you a better hint.
Big Nog.
Nope. No, well, you're getting closer. He Crow Cop.
There it is. Who head kicked Crow Cop and knocked him silly?
Gabriel fucking Gonzaga.
Bro, he whipped Bigfoot's ass in BKFC.
And I'm not trying to knock Bigfoot because his one kickboxing fight, I'm pretty sure was against Rico Verhoeven. So like, if you're gonna lose to anybody in kickboxing, that's like the best guy to lose to.
Yeah.
But come on, man. You've lost across 3 combat sports in 8 years.
But he lives by the sword and he dies by the sword, man. You know, when he wins, it's normally by knockout. When he loses, it's normally by knockout.
And I think the one fight that he has on his record that wasn't a loss was that war that he had down under against Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
But he still tested positive for steroids, so it got turned to a no contest.
Yep. And as far as Rashad Evans goes, you knew it was over when he lost to Daniel Kelly. Who? Daniel Kelly. Who? Daniel Kelly, the dude who pretty much got his ass kicked most of the time in the UFC. I mean,
And wasn't he in his late 30s when he made it to the UFC too? Like he was like a
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. I think he was from England, and I mean, he got knocked out by Brunson. He got knocked out by Tom Breeze. He got knocked out by Sam Alvey, but somehow he beat Rashad Evans by a split decision. When that happened, really, I looked at the TV and I'm like, all right, Rashad, that's, in my opinion, I was like, all right, that's enough for Rashad. I think it's time for him to just chill out. But he still took, a couple more losses after that.
Okay, so he lost in a row. This is in a row. Rashad Evans lost to Ryan Bader, got absolutely slaughtered by Glover Teixeira, lost to Daniel Kelly, lost to Sam Alvey,
Smiling Sam,
and then lost to Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Yeah.
Now, to point it out that Sam Alvey has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row with one draw. So he's 0-6-1 in his last 7.
Yeah, Nico's rubbing the nipples. Yeah, that's pretty
wild. Rashad Evans nipple tweak.
Yeah. Hey, it would be great.
Keith Jardine, bro.
Bro, they should have Keith Jardine and Rashad Evans fight each other, man.
That would never happen. Aren't they like boys or something?
Yeah, but they've both been lost so many fights in a row. Hey, bring back Houston Alexander. That's the thing.
Yo, what?
I think that's what they're trying, not necessarily Houston Alexander, but I think they're trying to find somebody that's retired or close to retiring with some name value for Rashad Evans.
Bring back Chuck. Bring back Chuck again. Chuck Liddell. Look, Ben's not happy about the Chuck. All right, how about Tito? How about Tito gets another rematch?
Say that, dude. Tito will come back. They'll go dig up Matt Hamill out of somewhere.
Houston Alexander looked like if common sense was on the same juice as Bane.
For real. Hey, he fought not that long ago in BKFC and obliterated the guy, right?
No.
He looked fucking incredible, bro. He was still jacked out of his mind and very fast. It was crazy.
It was wild.
Talk about a guy who lost a lot of MMA fights in a row. He lost a ton after he left the UFC. We knew it was over for him when he fought Kimbo and only threw 5 punches the whole fight. But man, he lost a lot of MMA fights. Let's see, he lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He lost 6 of his last 7 fights and a draw in the other fight of his 8. So yeah, he lost a lot in a row. But man, BKFC, he came out there, he fought Wes Combs and knocked him out in 34 seconds. Like I said, Nico, it was impressive. You should check it out if you never saw that fight. It was a couple months back. But yeah.
17, 16, and 1.
Yeah, 17, 16, and 1. He had that 1, so he wasn't even, man. That's a good thing. But yeah, so let's talk about these fights this weekend. The real reason we're here. The UFC this weekend is a ridiculous card. And that's the main event right there. Poirier versus Oliveira. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen.
Well, good graphics.
Thank you, brother. I'm going to share the screen and we'll look at UFC.com. Now, I know we're going to pick from the top 7 fights, right? That's what we talked about. But before we look at those, I just wanted to point out a few things on the early prelims. Actually, this is just the regular prelims. Excuse me. Alex Perez is going to be fighting against Matt Schnell, both top 10 flyweights. Alex Perez hasn't fought since that ridiculous fight against Figueiredo, where you remember that he knocked Figueiredo down and then got submitted on the ground. That was that was an exciting fight. And you remember Nico, I don't even know, maybe back in August or July, I was like, where the hell is Alex Perez? The dude hasn't been doing anything. And then the next week he signed this fight. So I'm kind of glad to see him back. And I'm glad they didn't give him somebody way, way too high ranked. I'm glad Matt Schnell, he's number 9. That's not too crazy of a fight for him. Also, Miranda Maverick versus Erin Blanchfield. That should be a pretty good fight, man. They're both pretty good. I know Miranda lost that fight to Macy Barber not that long ago. A lot of people thought she won the fight. it was it was pretty close, but and then Eric Anders, who is probably the best unranked middleweight around, or one of at least. But yeah, I just wanted to show that there's some good talent early in the night. Ben, you have anything to say about any of these guys?
All three of those fights are good. I guess I didn't look far enough down the card. I mean, there's nothing bad on this card. You've even got Ryan Hill.
Ryan Hall, yeah.
And Jillian Robertson early on.
These are the first 3 fights of the night. Jillian Robertson, she's got the women's flyweight record for submissions. She's got 4. And I think that she's close to the most wins. Like, she's only behind Valentina, I think, right, for wins in that division. And yeah, she's in the first fight of the night. Pretty big favorite in that fight too. I think is what I saw. Yeah, she's minus 400. So hopefully she comes back to her winning ways. And man, Ryan Hall versus Derek Minner is not a bad fight at all. I mean, that's a pretty good fight, really. But yeah. So before we got to those other fights, I just wanted to point these out. And those are the early prelims. Man, Eric Perez on the early prelims Alex Perez, just shocks me, man. That's pretty crazy. But
this isn't dude, these prelims could be a main card on a fight night.
For sure. Absolutely.
Like, look at those two. Look at Josh Emmett and Dan Ige and Munoz and Dominick Cruz. That's a main event, co-main event on a fight night right there.
It is. Even Cruz and Munoz could have been the main event.
All 4 of those guys are ranked.
Yep. So I'm pretty excited about this.
I'm so pumped for that. Yeah.
And Nico, you see your guy is fighting, bro, right? Your boy Shui.
Yep, Tai Tuivasa, facts.
Bro, are we gonna see a Shui this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. Why are you shaking your head no?
I don't know. I just don't know if
Augusto he's coming off of 2 knockout losses.
I think Ty puts him to sleep.
Going against a knockout artist. That man's chin is suspect. He's going to sleep. He's sent in there to go to sleep.
I think we're gonna see a Shui, man, and I think that we're gonna see him get ranked.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see Ty finally get ranked, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
picks. Let's make our picks.
Yeah, I'm going with Ty, bro.
Yeah, what's up? We're skipping over the first fight. We don't even give a fuck about them boys. All right, bet. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're gonna do the top 8 fights. We're gonna do these 3 and then the main card.
All right, bet.
That's what we talked about in the chat. Ty's coming off of 3 wins in a row, 3 knockouts.
That's right.
I mean, if he wins this fight, bro, he's got to be ranked, man. He's really starting to, like, I think, hit his stride and really, like, figure out who he is as a fighter, in my
100%.
opinion.
Yes.
Yes. And perfect timing, man. I mean, because he lost a few fights.
What do you see in Augusto, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. What's going on over there, Ben? Talk to me, my guy.
What about it?
What do you see in this guy? What do you see?
He's got a little bit of everything. I mean, he lost to Rosenstruik, but, like, I mean, if you get hit by Rosenstruik clean, you're going to sleep. I mean, he's done that to just about every heavyweight that he's actually hit clean. And then losing to one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and Alistair Overeem, doesn't really set you back.
I thought you were going to talk about him losing to Czech Congo when you said one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Congo is the man. I mean, I love Czech Congo, but losing to Overeem's not sad. I mean,
nah.
Sakai's still ranked 11 in the division. He was on a 5-fight win streak against increasingly better competition. And Ty got clipped by Greg Hardy before he put him to sleep. So, he swings a little too wild for me to confidently pick him. Plus, if you guys are both going with Ty, I mean, I might as well go with Augusto.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tough fight for me. It's a lot closer than I think people will realize.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he lost that fight to Arlovsky, but he got the nod. I don't know why they gave him the nod that night. I guess that
maybe Arlovsky was he had lost a couple in a row, I think, at that point too. So they probably just were like, "Yep, more losing for Arlovsky."
You go back and look at that though. I don't know. The win over Marcin is good though. That KO in round 1 is all right. So
Who did he have? Was it Ivanov that he had a split decision with to win over?
Who's that, bro?
Sakai. I think he beat Blagoy Ivanov by split decision. That was his last win.
Yep.
Hey, John Andrade told Ben, "Don't do that. Don't go against the grain." All right. So
that's my guy. Stab.
All right. So yeah, so we got that out of the way. The first fight, me and Nico are taking Ty. Ben is taking Augusto. Let's go to he said stab. All right. Let's go to Dominick Cruz versus Pedro Munoz. Yeah, I'll go ahead and knock this one out first because you guys went first on the last one. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go with Munoz. I know that a lot of people think Dominick Cruz is gonna win this fight. I picked Munoz last time to beat Aldo, and it just didn't work out for him that night. But I mean, Dominick, I don't know, man. I think age is starting to catch up to him for finally, and I just don't think he has it in this fight, man. I wasn't overly impressed with his win over Casey Kenny. I thought that he won, and I picked him to win, but he didn't look like the same Dominick Cruz to me, personally. But go ahead, Ben. What do you have in this fight? What do you think?
I'm picking Dominick Cruz.
Okay.
I think his footwork. I think his grappling. I think that he will be able to just outwork Pedro as long as he can keep his shots. Like he can keep Pedro's shots rolling. Like he can roll with them and not get caught too clean. I think Cruz will cruise, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. And what about you, Nico?
I'm never going against Dom Cruz. That's one of my goats.
Yeah.
He's up there for me. I think the IQ is too high. You'll see a lot of great footwork, nice darts,
So Nico,
solid jabs to the body, and he'll hit that nice little knee pick when Pedro overcommits and put him on his ass. I think the boxing will be too slick. I think that Jose outboxed Pedro, and I think Dom's Cruz boxing is right up there with Aldo's, honestly. So I think that he'll box Pedro up.
So you
Pedro's best shot at winning this is a knockout.
Right. So you say you never pick against Cruz, man. What are you going to do when him and Aldo finally fight? Because it's bound to happen.
I'll be with Aldo that night.
All right. Cool.
Now, I think what happened with, I know Cruz is like one of those guys that says he doesn't believe in ring rust. I think that was kind of what plagued him in the Casey Kenny fight. Like he just wasn't ready for the pace that Casey Kenny can keep up with him at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kenny pushes the pace similarly to the way Cruz does. So I think it was mostly just having some ring rust that slowed him down a little bit with Casey Kenny. I don't think that's going to be the same here. I think, like Nico said, Munoz's best chance is a knockout.
Gotcha. Hey, Nico, Dr. Yared said Dom is a legend. I hope his plantar fasciitis is not active. All right. That would definitely slow him down. I used to have plantar fasciitis. I guess I still have it, but I got the cortisone shot, and it definitely helped because that shit hurts. But let me ask you guys a question. How fucking pissed was Dominick Cruz last week when Clay Guida almost died and what's the referee's name? That stopped the
no nonsense.
Keith Peterson didn't stop the fight.
Nonsense.
What? Yeah.
Nonsense.
He didn't stop the fight for Clay Guida, who looked like he was like dead, and then pulls an Undertaker and gets up and wins the fight. But he stopped Dominick Cruz, and Dom's like, I was fine. He smelled like cigarettes and beer. Cruz was probably at home, like, breaking his TV, like, over his knee or something. He probably was fucking insane last weekend. I mean, you had to know he was mad. If he would have been on commentary, could you imagine his commentary?
Yo, facts.
He probably would have been yelling into the cage at Keith Peterson to stop the fight. Are you going to stop it? You stopped me, and I was fine. I was good. I mean, damn. If I was him, I would have been fucking pissed. Anyway, let's go to the main event of the prelims. Dan Ige versus Josh Emmett. This is going to be a hell of a fight.
Hell yeah, it is.
John Andrade said that was BS. That ref sucks. Keith Peterson, man, he's I don't even know, man. I've seen worse, but I've seen a lot better. No nonsense. But yeah, man, Nico, we'll let you go first on this. Josh Emmett and Dan Ige. What do you say, man?
It's tough. I think I'm gonna rock with Dan Ige on this fight. Josh Emmett is an absolute killer. That fight versus Shane Burgos was a very close fight, in my opinion. Dan Ige just did a 5-rounder, though. So I think that'll play a factor in the cardio and the pace that he's willing to put out over 3 rounds now, as opposed to the 5. I don't think that Josh Emmett will be able to withstand that. So I'm rock with Ige.
All right, Ben, what do you think, man?
I have never picked against Josh Emmett, and I'm not going to start now. I fucking love Josh Emmett. He's probably my favorite 145er that there is. The dude's just got an excellent combination of wrestling, being from Team Alpha Male, and he's got some of the nastiest power at 145. I think he's going to come in healthy, hungry, I should say. He's healthy. I like Ige. I think he's tough. I think he's a great fighter, but I just think this is a good fight for Emmett to come back on.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can see that. I agree with some of that. Before I give my pick on this, I don't think it has happened, but I would love to see Josh Emmett versus Calvin Kattar. I think that would just be a hell of a fight. It would be a war. So go ahead and book that, Uncle Dana, for a fight night. I think that would be a hell of a fight. That being said, I like both of these guys. This is a tough one for me, man. This is like a flip of a coin, honestly. And man, I think I'm gonna go with Ige here, Dan Ige, only because it seems like Josh Emmett really goes for that knockout, and like I think he may tire himself out looking for a finish. Yeah, you're right that Ige lost to the Korean Zombie in his last fight, right? That was who he lost to.
Over 5 rounds, though. Yep.
Yeah. Ige's lost 2 of his last 3.
Yeah, and Emmett has lost.
Emmett hasn't lost since 2018 to Jeremy Stevens.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
It was that nasty elbow on the ground, remember? Or not on the ground, like he came in close on that elbow and fucking put him right to sleep. Emmett.
Yeah.
But.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Ige by decision. But don't get me wrong, that's not a confident pick. It's just the way that I've been leaning this week, and it's almost an even fight. Josh Emmett's a slight favorite, but I mean the odds on that one are pretty damn accurate because I think both of those guys could win the fight.
I think people are forgetting that Ige's 2 losses are to fucking Calvin Kattar and Korean Zombie, so it's not like he was losing to dubs. You know what I mean? He was losing to the best of the division.
Yep.
So, but I think that a win here does a lot more for Emmett. Like, there's more people for Emmett to fight at the top of the division, where Ige's already fought a couple of the guys up there and lost to him. So
yeah, because he's already fought Kattar. Right? Yeah, I mean, he's already Kattar, and he's lost to Chan Sung Jung.
He's beat Mirsad Bektic, Edson Barbosa, Gavin Tucker, and then he's lost. So yeah, he's fought a lot of the guys that are up there at the top of the division. So
yeah, let's not forget though that back in 2017 he beat Luis Gomez. Who is Luis Gomez? I really don't know, but that is the name of the comedian that was Michael Bisping's co-host on the Believe You Me podcast. I hope it's that guy, but it probably isn't.
Maybe they're one in the same.
They might be. You never know, man. You never know. But this fight right here, the first fight of the main card, we have Sean O'Malley fighting against Julianna Pena. Is that how you say it?
Should we just do this on 3?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Sean O'Malley. Ben, you look hesitant, bro. What's up?
Oh, I'm picking Paiva.
oh, man. The hot take from Ben. Tell us what's up, man. How's he going to win it? I like it.
I think that O'Malley's got a different kind of confidence coming into this fight because Paiva's last win was against Kyler Phillips, who's a buddy of Sean O'Malley's. So O'Malley thinks already that he's got some sort of extra advantage on Paiva. I think Paiva's a total gamer. I think he's got the chin to stand up to it. And I think this fight will go a different way than people think. O'Malley's already calling for fights with Aldo and Dom Cruz. And, I mean, he's a character, but you still got to win the fight that's in front of you first. And
yeah, what
this isn't an easy fight. So
right. And Paiva,
he gonna smoke that boy's boots.
Paiva's ranked number 15.
He's gonna smack that man's head around.
Now, let me ask you this. Besides that, what do you guys think of this fight being on the main card and Dom versus Pedro being on the undercard and Ige versus Emmett being on the undercard? Even
they had to give something away for free, right?
Yeah.
To make people want to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying they had to give away the Cruz fight and the yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, you know.
It's still kind of crazy though, man. I guarantee you, those guys weren't crazy about O'Malley being on the pay-per-view portion.
I think that this is the Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler treatment.
Yeah. Okay.
You're trying to get the viewers in there from the first fight.
Yeah. All right.
As they should be. Following up is Cody Garbrandt. Then Ponzinibbio. Then Nunes.
Well, at least the skeleton of Cody Garbrandt is following up.
The ghost of Cody Garbrandt.
I gotta stop that because we over here singing Aldo's praises right now for him dropping down. Until we see him go in there and fight, we don't know yet. Or when he step on that scale, do he weigh in with the boxers on? Do he get bare ass for the weigh in? Like, come on, let's give him a break until he get in there.
All right. Hey, I guess I'll start. Ben, you start this one, man, because I started 2 ago and Nico started the last one. Where are you going with this one, man?
I guess it all depends on. Like Nico said, it all depends on what kind of Cody Garbrandt weighs in on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The blind eye test for me though, and I'm probably wrong here, but I'm gonna go with a guy who's made the weight before. I think Kai can win this fight. I think Cody's got power no matter what division he's fighting at. So, I mean, all it takes is one punch. But Cody hasn't looked the best, and it's a new weight class, and typically guys go down. Typically guys go down when they feel like they're out of answers at the weight class they're at. So I'm going to go with Kai Kara France here. I love Cody Garbrandt. I think he's tough. I think he's got good power, but I'm going to go with the guy that's a proven commodity at the weight class.
All right.
Fair enough.
And Nico, how about you, man?
I'm going with Cody.
Cody? All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready for this?
What's up?
I'm not only going to tell you who's going to win. I'm going to tell you how they're going to win. Cody is going to win by guillotine. If you look at Kai Kara France's record, he's gotten choked out every single way possible. And now I'm not a big Cody fan, and I think that
that's only 3 ways. That's only 3 submission losses, though.
No, he's got more, right?
He's got 3 submission losses out of 31 fights.
He got guillotined by Brandon Royval. He got rear naked choked by Mark Stiegel. Bravo choke by Gustavo Falicivi. Let's see. So that's 1. That's 4. 1, 2, right? 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he won that one. Yeah, yeah, he's been choked out. 1, 2, 3. I thought there was one more in here. No, that was a decision. Yeah, I just think that he's going to get choked out. You know, Team Alpha Male, that's all they do is submissions and striking all day long. They just do the guillotine and they do boxing pretty much all day. I have a feeling though, and I know that he's not with Team Alpha Male like he used to be. Is he there at all anymore?
I thought he still was. Period.
Probably
I didn't know he moved.
I didn't know either.
Because I know that he was in New Jersey training with Frankie a lot. So I didn't know if he was still doing that or not.
The frustrating thing with Cody was he never seemed to really use his wrestling coming from the alpha male camp, and that being one of their calls was having really heavy wrestling, strong wrestling. He kind of fell in love with his hands.
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't when you've got that kind of power? But I don't know. Like I said, I'd be very happy if Cody won, but it's just I feel like it's hard, man, to drop a weight class to fight a guy that's already fairly proven and has fought some really. I mean, Kara France has a decision loss to Moreno, the champion.
Yep.
So it's he's got some definite experience in the division. I'm gonna go with Kai.
He definitely does. The one thing that I would be worried about normally, and like I said, I mean, I'm a little worried about him dropping the weight. The one thing that I would be worried about usually for a fighter going down to 125 from 135 is like speed. But Cody is so fucking fast anyway, man, that I don't think that he's gonna have any issues with the speed at 125. But we'll see what happens. I think this is probably one of the biggest up in the air fights for the weekend. There's just a lot of question around it. I think we'll get a lot of answers out of that fight. But we will move up the card a little bit. Even money on Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Jeff Neal. I'll go ahead and start up with this one. I'm going with my boy Santiago Ponzinibbio. That's my guy. I've always been a fan of his. I hated seeing him lose a couple fights ago. But I don't know. You look at Jeff Neal, the guy just got a DWI last week. Obviously, whatever the fuck he's doing, I don't care what he said today, that it wasn't as big of a deal as people made it out to be, and it wasn't that bad. It is bad. If you're in fight camp, you shouldn't be drinking to begin with, in my opinion. And what the fuck are you doing out driving around, at least partially intoxicated? I mean, I just don't feel like you're taking things as serious as you should be. And I think Ponzinibbio is he's a gamer, man. He'll fight anybody. He looked pretty good last fight against Miguel Baeza, and I think that he'll come out looking good, man. The one fight against Li Jingliang, I said Jingliang. When he got knocked out, that was it. I said Jingliang, Nico. That was his first fight back in like a couple years. I think he just had a little bit of ring rust, but I think that he's brushing that off and he's ready to go. But Ben, I saw you shaking your head. You're agreeing with Ponzinibbio?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you said with Jeff Neal. I mean, I'm not even against if you're having a training camp and you want to go out and have a couple beers, go have a couple beers. But I mean, you're in a training camp full of people. You couldn't have found somebody to be your DD.
That's true too.
There's so much noise going on in the background for Jeff Neal right now that I think it's a distraction. I don't think he's going to be fully committed and connected with fight week. And a guy with the power of Ponzinibbio, you don't want to sleep on. You don't want to not be 100% for. His fight that he got knocked out by Lee. He had didn't he have he got sick and then he had staph infection and almost died. Like he was coming back off a really bad layoff. So
yeah.
This is totally Ponzinibbio's fight to win. Jeff Neal's going to be, I think he's going to be far too distracted with what's going on in the background.
Yep, absolutely. Nico, where do you sit on this one?
Oh man, it's tough to rock with both of y'all. But Ponzinibbio.
Don't pick against us. Just pick the fighter.
I know. Ponzinibbio is probably going to win this fight. Just like if you just do MMA math, I know we can't do MMA math all the time, but he has the knockout win in the 4th round versus Magny. Magny got the decision win over Jeff Neal. Jeff didn't look like he was doing shit versus Magny when he was it's like you said, he looked good versus Beza. It's tough to pick against the guy, so I'm gonna rock with Ponzinibbio as well.
And let's not forget Jeff Neal is coming off of 2 losses in a row.
Two losses.
Neil Magny.
But it's Stephen Thompson and
no,
I
said that.
Yeah.
I mean, those are tough guys. Those are nothing to be ashamed of losing to. I just was throwing that out there as a stat.
I'm gonna rock with Ponzinibbio though.
Yeah, Ponzinibbio, man. I figured we'd all pick him, but I wasn't sure. All right, now's where things get into.
Oh, here we go. It's getting hairy. I'm gonna pick first.
Go ahead, Nico. You're up, man. Amanda Nunes versus
I've been
Julianna
on
Pena.
the fence nonstop, man. I feel like if we go back through the history of the show, it's like so back and forth when it comes to this.
It has been, and this is the second time it's been scheduled.
I'm not switching up. I'm gonna rock with the GOAT. I'm with the Lioness on this night, Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Ben, I see you shaking your head.
He's muted.
Oh,
Ben.
sorry. I had coughed, and then I forgot to unmute myself.
Not slick that time. Not slick.
It wasn't that. We're on a little bit of a time delay, and I heard Ben start cursing up a storm, so I hit the mute button real quick. Now that we got all the cursing out of the way, Ben, let's hear it, man. What you got?
I like Pena. I think her style is good against Amanda, the wrestling, but I'm looking at some of Pena's wins here, and nothing really jumps out at me that impresses me in her wins and who she's beaten. A win over Sarah McMahon doesn't really do a lot for me as much as it used to. She has losses to Valentina and Germaine Durandamy, so those are girls that aren't champions or weren't champion at the time. Valentina's the GOAT at her. I'm going with Amanda Nunes. I just don't see anything that Pena has that screams to me that she can beat Nunes. I like Pena. I just don't think she's got enough.
Understandable. I just think that every dog has his day, and I don't know, man. I just have a good feeling about Julianna Pena beating her. And I may be completely wrong, and she goes out there and gets destroyed. But I've just always felt that her ground game is pretty nice, and I don't know. I just think that she may be able to get on top and drop down some elbows and do something big. I think. What's that?
I was just looking at her record, and she's 2-2 in her last 4, and she's getting a title fight.
Oh, isn't she 1-2? Isn't she 1-1 in her last 2 fights?
Yeah, she's lost one in her last 4, and she's getting a title fight.
Man, I mean that just shows you where 135 is at.
Yeah, that just shows you what Nunes has done to everybody else in this division.
Yeah. Hey, before we finish up the episode, remind me I want to talk about Shell Sonnen. All right, guys, don't let me forget about that because I have something pretty funny to talk about. But back to this fight. I mean, look, sure, I could sit here and say I think Amanda Nunes is going to go out there and kill her. But, yeah, Julianna Pena's lost fights. But I've never seen her just get destroyed. The closest thing to that was Valentina, getting that arm bar and finishing her because Valentina was winning that fight. But it wasn't like an overwhelming ass whipping. We've never really seen her just take an ass whipping bad. The Germaine Durandamy fight, she lost, obviously. She was losing. She got choked out, whatever. I thought that was more of a fluke submission because I don't think Germaine Durandamy ever does submissions, and I think Julianna Pena kind of just blew off the idea that she could get submitted by somebody like that and then got submitted. And sure, Ben, she has lost. Are you ready for this MMA math? She has lost to Valentina and Germaine Durandamy.
Yeah, a win over Kat Zingano doesn't mean shit.
Yes, it does. Kat Zingano beat her, and Amanda Nunes lost to Kat. So you knew where I was going with that, and that's cool.
Hey,
man.
Did you say Durandamy submitted Julianna Pena?
Yes.
That's Durandamy's only submission win in her career.
Look, okay. It's like this.
I'm just saying it's funny.
No,
I'm not calling it out. I'm just saying.
It's funny. It's funny. It is funny because it's like Julianna Pena. It's like she was worried about one thing, and then she got
get knocked out. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like Conor McGregor worrying about getting wrestled, and Khabib saying, "Hell no, I'm going to come with an overhand right and fuck you up," and that's what he did and dropped him. Nobody saw that coming. Just like nobody saw Germaine Durandamy choking out Julianna Pena. That's all. I mean, but
No, I mean, you do
that's
that fight.
fighting.
You do that fight 100 times, she's probably not submitting her again.
But that night it was special. I heard Chael Sonnen compare Julianna Pena to Buster Douglas for this fight. I thought it was kind of funny and kind of cute. Well, I'll talk about Chael here in a minute, but I don't know, man. I just, everybody gets old. Amanda's got the baby now. She's all booed up and stuff. Hey, I just think it's a good time for her to be ripe for the picking. If this was Valentina for the third time, I would pick Valentina. Just throw that out there.
So I like that theory, but I also like the theory of there being a double champion that has the titles, defends the titles, and retires on their own terms, because that has to happen at some point in time as well.
It did happen. George St. Pierre.
No.
Then came back, won the title, and retired again.
Not the same, Will.
I know, but it's not. It'll happen sometime, but it won't be this one.
When it's all said and done, if she does it and she retires with it, they'll tell her story as greater than GSP's, and that's coming from a GSP stan.
Yeah,
she wins this fight. You think she retires?
I think not this
fight. Not this fight, but soon. When she decides it will be on her terms. That's for damn sure. Yeah. And I think that is a nice little cherry on top that it happens with a female first. I guess you could kind of say it happened with Henry Cejudo, but he didn't do it on the level that Amanda's doing it either.
Yeah, he just kind of got in there, got the titles, and left.
I think Amanda will retire once they finally cave in that 145 division. Like they'll cave in that division. She'll defend the 135-pound title again, assuming she wins here, and then she'll call it quits.
Yeah. Well, it would have been crazy if she did it after Cyborg. Nobody would have blamed her, and it would have been an amazing story.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to find a name that stacks up to that to ride out on.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I was just writing something down because I don't want to forget about saying it.
I think they're trying to see if they could ever build any sort of a Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes thing, but I don't think Nunes is going to stick around long enough for that to happen. So,
yeah. And the other thing about it, man, is she's beating up. Look, she's beating up these girls in the World Series of Fighting that never would get signed by the UFC. None of those girls that were in that tournament would have been signed to the UFC. No. She's not fighting. She's not fighting world beaters.
There's only one girl from there that I could see the UFC signing, and they might have already signed her and let her go. And that's Larissa Pacheco.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I'm not saying she's not that good. I don't know how good Kayla Harrison actually is because of the level of competition she's fighting.
Oh, she's good. There's no denying.
Right.
That.
But we don't know how good. We don't. Yeah. We have no idea how good she actually is. I mean, she's going to fight Julia Budd next year or something like that, Ben? I mean, isn't Julia Budd?
Probably. That's not even a guarantee because PFL always blows their biggest fights by not booking them. They book them in opposite sides of the tournament so that potentially they can fight in the tournament finals. Yeah. But it never works out for them. They always blow it.
Right.
Like they put Clay Collard versus Anthony Pettis as their first fight in the – that was what they wanted their – lightweight final to be, and they made it the first fight. And then so the Pettis started with a loss.
Awful idea. Yep.
So like that, unless they do Bud versus Harrison right out the gates, they're not guaranteed that fight. So,
and she's getting older. I think Julia Budd's around 40. So it's not like,
well, I mean, and people aren't going to watch the female PFL tournament to watch Kayla Harrison beat up on Filene's cashiers for long. You know what I mean?
For real. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. All right, we got the main event. Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, the rightful world champion versus the rightful number one contender, which we really don't get that often. I mean, who wants to go first? I'll go first if you guys want me to.
Not it.
Poirier.
I'm going Dustin Poirier as well. There's some things about this fight that I like for Dustin Poirier. I think that Dustin can keep the fight standing. I think that Charles could take him down, but I don't think Charles will be able to take him down. I mean, yeah, he could do it, but I think Poirier has got really good jiu-jitsu, and I mean, I think that his defensive jiu-jitsu is good enough to keep Charles Oliveira at bay, and I think his stand-up is so dynamic that you saw what Chandler did to Charles Oliveira in the first round. Had him on ice skates, as Nico likes to say. Had the man slipping in mop water. And I think that Dustin. I honestly think that Dustin finishes this fight in the first round. I think he puts Charles out with TKO. That's my pick, and I'm sticking to it. And by the way, we were talking about the Julianna Pena fight. I think that she finishes Amanda Nunes. Not only wins, but finishes her. But go ahead, guys. Ben, I'm going to kick it to you, man. Ben, man, you got a lot to say on this, huh?
No, Nico, you go first.
All right, look, it's like this. If this goes 5 rounds and it's a war, that's a win for Charles Oliveira. That's the type of Dustin that I'm expecting to see. I expect Dustin to go in there and put that man to sleep. I expect him to do what Michael Chandler couldn't finish. I think it's the same exact thing. He laid them hands on him. He gonna Charles' eyes are gonna roll on the back of his head, especially. Look, Charles' boxing is getting crispy. But Dustin been boxing at a different clip.
Yeah, it's not.
He been preparing for Conor.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Conor was so boxing oriented and focused. Dustin was getting straight up boxing rounds in. Fuck the MMA. Yeah, I know we watched him go in there with them leg kicks, but that was just so he could expose Conor with the hands afterwards. The way that he switched stances and walked Conor into that knockout was nothing short of amazing. He's getting his praises sung by Teddy Atlas. And with that, mixed with the confidence that Charles Oliveira is starting to gain with his hands, it's just going to play right into what Dustin wants. Plus, he got to close that distance in order to get the takedown to do the shit that we know him to do, which is his jiu-jitsu. Nah, man. Nah. I don't like the look of it for him. So if this winds up being a war and he loses a decision, then that's a coming out party for Charles Oliveira, and he should take that as a win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel you. Even if Oliveira loses,
he's going to lose.
No, I'm saying if Oliveira loses a decision, you said he should still take that as a win.
Yep. If it goes to decision, take that as a win, buddy, because Dustin is on a different level right now. The confidence that man has. It was already his title. He let them have that title. This is just a daddy's coming home moment. It's a daddy's home moment. Khabib left. Dustin's next in line. That title don't go nowhere until Dustin goes somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. And man, I can't wait. If he wins, I can't wait to see Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier too. That'll be fucking epic.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben, come on, man, hit us with it. What you got, bro?
14. If you're wondering what 14 is, that's how many submission wins Charles Oliveira has inside the octagon. 17. If you're wondering what that is, that's how many finishes Charles Oliveira has inside the octagon. Both of those are records. You want to talk about confidence and riding high? Charles Oliveira is riding as high as anybody in the octagon could possibly be. I think that if anyone has a style to combat Poirier's, it's a guy like Oliveira's. He's got an absolute quicksand of a ground game, and it's proven. I mean, he's choked out and submitted the best that there is. And he's not just he's not just submitting guys. I mean, he's TKOing guys too. I think people will be picking Poirier, expecting this. I mean, he's a monster, but Oliveira is the man. I gotta go with Oliveira. He's just, that ground game is too good, and it's proven. And he hasn't been knocked out since, I want to say, like 2016 or 2017 when he fought Paul Felder.
Right.
And Felder's a big 155er who fights at 170 as well. I don't want to pick against Poirier, and that's why I'm picking Oliveira, because if I pick Poirier, I feel like he'll lose. So I'm going to pick Oliveira. I think that it's just, he's got a good style to combat what Poirier has. And like you said, he's been training for Conor. Dustin's been training for a lot of stand-up guys, and not that I'm saying his ground game wouldn't be getting trained either, but man, Oliveira's on another planet when it comes to that ground game, and I think that he's going to use it.
All right. Interesting stat, Ben. Although Oliveira has how many was it submissions?
14.
14, 17 finishes in total. I think Dustin's around 11 finishes in total.
Okay, so
but more on that knockout side of things.
Yeah. On that note, do you know that Oliveira has been submitted more times than Dustin Poirier has been? Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still only been 3 times, but
it's all right, man. That's an interesting stat. I'm just saying, it's interesting. But yeah, I can't wait for these fights. I think this is going to be
fucking
ridiculous.
Jim Miller submitting Charles Oliveira.
Clay Guida. Oh, he beat Oliveira. Beat Clay Guida. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat Clay Guida. Who was it that Clay Guida? It was somebody who was like a 6 submission guy, and Clay Guida basically got him like on like a face crank and submitted him.
Dos Anjos.
Yes, bro. That was a once in a lifetime type deal right there, man.
Well, wasn't it? I thought that it was that he had broken Dos Anjos' jaw
with a punch,
and then
right?
got him in like a face crank, and like that's why Dos Anjos tapped out.
That was crazy, man. Clay's had some wild stuff, but anyway,
I'm looking at Poirier's record right now. The last grappling heavy outside of Khabib, of course, you'd have to go all the way back to
Pettis,
2017 when he fought Jim Miller.
And Anthony Pettis, right?
I mean, yeah, but Pettis is more of a kickboxer really than a submission or a wrestler.
I thought you meant like the fight being, ground heavy. I got you.
I'm just looking. He's been prepared for a lot of stand up. I mean, you got Eddie Alvarez twice, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker, Conor McGregor twice.
Yo, that's a fact, but Khabib took Dustin down 7 times.
Excuse me.
Y'all dig that?
Yeah, I mean,
he took that man down 7 times. That means he got back up from Khabib that many fucking times.
Yeah. I mean,
Charles Oliveira don't got that same wrestling in his arsenal. He's getting back up.
I mean,
yeah.
Most of those guys don't get back up. So
most of them don't. But that's not the same Khabib pressure, yo. And he was getting up from Khabib. He's not holding that man down.
Yeah, but you compete. I mean, you're in the sport. Like getting up from somebody who you don't have to necessarily worry about snatching up your arm or your leg or your throat is totally different than a guy that can pull off a submission from anywhere.
I don't know, man. Khabib's a killer with the submissions, as he showed later. I think that he was just...
it's not quite the same.
Motherfuckers.
No, I mean, it's not the same level, that's for sure. But I think he's one of the best as far as, like, technicians, as far as chokes go. Because once that dude got a hold of your, like, head and neck, you were fucked. But as far as other kind of tricky submissions, nah, I don't think that Khabib was as good as Oliveira. But at the same time, he was a lot better at holding people down than Oliveira was. It's just a different kind of
different kind of pressure.
Yeah. I asked John Fitch once when we interviewed him, like, is Khabib the best wrestler that he's ever trained with? And he said, absolutely not. His technique isn't even that good. He's just so strong and has just such will to do what he needs to do that it's like he's on you and you're in trouble. He's like, his technique is not the best he's ever seen. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today on Show Sonnen's podcast, I guess he put it out last night. I listened to it today while I was driving around doing some deliveries. And for starters, he made reference a couple times to, he thought that Julianna Pena versus Valentina Shevchenko would be a good fight, which has already happened, like we talked about a little while ago. He was like, I'm seeing all the kids in the underground saying that Amanda Nunes is going to smash Julianna Pena. He's like, I've never seen her get smashed before. He's like, if she was going to fight Valentina, nobody would say that. You know, obviously that fight would be like a decision or something like that. And he was talking about that fight. So Shell definitely needs somebody there with him that can correct him. Like if I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, you know, let's just say, Richard Cruz is fighting this weekend against Pedro Munoz. Both of you guys would jump on me and be like, what the fuck are you? Richard Cruz is Dominick Cruz. But let me tell you, the whole time, 15 minutes straight, it's on YouTube. You can go watch it. Shell talks about Jake Paul and the Tyron Woodley thing, and he calls Tommy Fury Will Fury about 15 or 16 times.
Oh my God.
He even was just referring to him as Will at one point. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking? Like, I kept forgetting that he was talking about Tommy Fury.
Isn't it Will Fleury? That's the MMA fighter.
Will Fleury, maybe. I don't
know. Doing it on purpose though, because that's a marketing. Sometimes that's a marketing scheme. Though.
No, man, I'm telling you, he just forgot his name.
Hey, yo, you know who Ray J is?
Ray J, yeah, Brandy's brother.
Yeah. All right, so it's this clip of him and whatever shows that he's on, whatever hip hop, Hollywood, whatever the fuck it is, and in this scene where he's talking to this dude, he moved his hat around like 40 different fucking times, but it's every time the camera's not on him, so every time you see him, the hat's in a different position again. It's just some stupid shit that people see and they're like, yo, look at this dumb shit. You don't think that's what Chael was doing?
No.
Dumb shit. It's just some stupid shit. Yeah.
No, because he was so adamant about it, and like a couple minutes into the story, he just stopped referring to him as Will Fury, and he was just Will at that point. But, Ben is wild.
You don't think that he was just doing that to show you how much the kid doesn't matter?
I mean, that's a possibility, but Will Fleury is a real MMA fighter.
I just think that's Chael shit. Chael is that much of a fucking troll and dickhead. He's the originator of this shit, man. And he's been pretty gung-ho on Jake Paul. So I just think he's just letting you know how much that man don't matter. He don't even have a name.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I'd have just called him Tyson Fury's brother anyway.
Isn't there like a superhero with the last name Fury? Who is it? Nick Fury?
Yeah.
He should have just called him that. He should have just called him Nick Fury. That would have even been better, man.
Yeah. That Will Fleury guy's an Irish MMA guy. He trains at SBG. That's how I've heard of him because of the guys through my other group there. Nice.
That's what's up. All right. Well, you guys have anything else going on that you wanted to discuss tonight?
No, sir.
Before we finish up, Ben, what you got, man? Anything?
No, I think we covered it all, like all the important stuff that's happening or gonna be happening, and
yeah,
there's not much else to see until this weekend to make sure everybody makes weight.
Right. Oh, one thing that I did see.
Has there been an alternate announced in case one of those two falls out?
No, I haven't heard anything.
I know they've been doing that a lot. The UFC's been having somebody like ready to go, and just in case, especially with COVID protocols and all that shit.
Oh yeah, they got Ally Quinta there on ice, ready to go.
Yeah, dude, I bet.
It's the real estate.
Yeah, that was the biggest letdown of all time. Him fighting Khabib. No, the one other thing that I did want to point out that I saw,
ended up being a really good fight.
No, it did, but it was just disappointing, man. I wanted to see Tony fight him, man. Yeah. I wanted to see Tony versus Khabib. I don't care if it was a good fight, Nico. I wanted to see what I wanted to see, man. I said what I said. You saw what you saw.
I did, and you did as well.
Yeah, I wanted to see Tony.
Listen.
All I wanted to see was Khabib take down Tony and Tony land a couple of elbows off his back like
look, that dumb motherfucker can do all them backflips on the yoga ball that he want. He don't need to fucking trip on no goddamn microphone wires. He need to watch where he walking, doing all that crazy shit.
That's true, man. Then try to fight Fabricio Verdum at whatchamacallit, press conferences. No, but anyway, one thing that I did see before we went on the air that I'll just bring up is John Jones. So now he's saying he's either going to fight in April or July. He wants to fight in April at Madison Square Garden or wants to fight in Vegas for fight week in July.
Nice.
So, April, Madison Square Garden, Nico. I guess you got something to look forward to, man.
Yeah. If he's on the up and up, if he's being for real.
Yeah. Basically, he said it depends on what happens in the Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou fight, which means to me that if Francis wins, he'll probably fight Francis. But if Gane wins, Gane would probably fight Francis again and have a rematch. That's kind of the way that I read that. I'm not sure, but you know, that's that's how I read it. So anything interesting happening in wrestling right now that we should throw out there?
No, what is going on? Yo, it really looks like this dude is Vince McMahon's number one right now. Like, what's up with this guy?
Who, Austin Theory?
Austin Theory, man. He's getting a lot of airtime, man.
I saw an article why. Because apparently Austin Theory is like the most popular wrestler with, and you're gonna laugh, and it's not intentional, but with the teenage demographic.
Okay.
Like the age group that's like really into AEW right now, that's beating WWE's ratings. Austin Theory's like the most popular guy with that age group. And I ask you not to laugh because the reason why he got booted off TV in the first place is because there was rumors that he was like hitting up underage girls. But I just read that article this morning that like Vince McMahon basically loves this fucking kid because he's like bringing in the ratings when he's on TV for the age group that they want.
Makes sense. And Nico, they did exactly what we said would happen with Liv Morgan. They built her up just to lose. But apparently there's like a lot of backlash about her losing. Like people were like pissed about it. They got the crazy, like demonic looking girl crying on camera. Ben, you saw that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, Becky did heel shit and she cheated to win anyway. So I don't know that this means that Liv is out of the picture right now.
No, not at all. For sure. And now they're saying that I don't know. Alexa put out. Did you guys see Alexa Bliss put out that one tweet where it's like, I guess it's her, but there's like a whole bunch of like people walking by her and stuff, and she said, "I'm coming." I have a feeling that that's her way of saying she'll be at the Royal Rumble, just because it's like a whole bunch of people, like a lot of traffic, like foot traffic behind her.
I bet she's winning at the Royal Rumble.
I would not be shocked. What's that? Or Fastlane? God, I hope not. And I mean, you got day one, and then you have the Royal Rumble both in January, I think. So,
yeah, they announced the main events for those, or the two title matches for that show, at least
for day one. Who's Roman wrestling?
Brock.
Oh, that's right. It is Brock. You're right.
And then they're doing that triple threat match on Raw: Owens, Rollins, and Biggie.
Oh, they did add Owens?
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
He even did Chris Jericho's finish. He even did the Walls of Jericho last night or Monday night on Raw when he was wrestling Biggie.
Yep.
Nice. I'm just getting tired of the whole Sonya Deville storyline, like with her and Naomi. I'm all for a slow build, but this is like just like brutal, man. I mean, they've been doing this shit, it feels like, for like 6 months, where she's just being an asshole to Naomi for no reason.
I agree.
It's just too long. They need to strike while it's hot.
And you know that it's going to be a lack of payoff anyway. So what's it all for? Like, it's just cut it out.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, in the next round of cuts, I am predicting it right here. Hot take: they are going to drop Doudrop. She'll be out of there, bro. The way that they're booking her now, she's just like, okay, she came in as a heel, then she was a face. Now she's a heel already. She's been there for like 6 months, and she's already had 2 turns.
But she's out there with Bianca right now, and that's her like.
She is. Yeah,
that's her star child right now. So
yeah, she'll be gone, man. Trust me.
You think so?
Yeah, this is just gonna make Bianca look good. Then this girl is just basically gonna be a jobber. Yep, I think she'll be gone, man. When they start turning you back and forth, you're on your way out. Unless you're the Big Show. He's the only one who could go back and forth every week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, Ben,
that's how I feel about Nikki Ash or whatever right now. She's lost like 4 weeks in a row on Raw, and this article I was reading said that their plan is to have her keep losing and to keep losing and to keep losing. And That's never worked ever in any storyline, other than for Baron Corbin. Like, has it ever worked where this person loses and doesn't lose all their credibility?
Yeah, you're right.
Like
about
the rumors that the end result will be her and Rhea splitting up. But I mean, you're not gonna. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with it? Like, you just had this girl cash in her Money in the Bank contract a few months ago to be champion, and now she's losing every night or every Monday on Raw.
Right. Oh, the woman that can turn back and forth every week is actually Natalya. But she, as talented as she is, it's okay, even though it's stupid as hell. But, I don't think Doudrop has that kind of talent like Natalya does. So, I don't know, man. But yeah. Nico, you ready to take it to the house, man?
Yeah, man. Trick Daddy style, man. I got
you want to take it to the house?
I said, don't let me.
Nico finally saw that, man. He loved it.
Dude, how bad was that, Nico?
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it.
Well, he threw me off with the fucking bitches and hoes, pimps and hoes. It's the fucking whatever he said that threw me off.
He said, ladies and gentlemen, pimps and hoes.
Watching the Fight God show.
Watching the Fight God's fucking show.
Hey, Nico.
What's up, brother?
It's all the animosity that I possess towards you that keeps me going, man.
You possess an animosity towards me?
I possess it. Yes, I do, man.
Yo, you posse it. Hey, yo, man. Episode 81. We coming to a close. It's been an hour and a half. Chilling with y'all favorite motherfuckers, man. It's the Three Musketeers. When we got Brandon up here, I don't know what the fuck we are. What's a crazy...
The Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, man. Definitely the Fantastic Four.
Hey, Ben.
We're missing an opportunity right there.
Oh, my God. Ben.
Hey, Ben.
I don't want to say anything. Will, if you don't make this a fucking thing. No. I want that the next time it's the four of us on this show and we know it's the four of us. Okay. That has to be the picture now. The same way we have the Hangover picture with you and I. Yeah. It has to be the Four Horsemen. And I am Flair.
You're Flair?
You fucking better make that thing. You better make it a thing. Really.
No, look, if I'm not Flair,
Roma.
Wait, time out. First of all, if I'm
Mongo McMichael.
Look,
no, you're Mongo McMichael, Will.
Look, which version are we doing? Because I know if we're doing the later version, Brandon wants to be Chris Benoit. There's no way he doesn't. I can speak for him right now. He wants to be Chris Benoit if that's what we're doing.
All right, if we're doing,
right.
Yeah, you gotta decide which version of the Horseman we are, because that depends on who I am. If we're old school Horseman, I'm definitely Barry Windham.
Look, and if we're new school, I'm Dean Malenko.
Okay. If we're old school, I'm Arn Anderson.
All right, old school, I'm Ric Flair.
All right. Old school, Ben could be Barry Windham.
Ole Anderson.
Or Lex Luger.
Fuck Lex Luger. What the fuck?
Ole Anderson.
Lex Luger was the man.
If Brandon wants to be Chris Benoit, then we gotta edit that picture a little bit. Maybe not have it.
Hey, if it's
Will Mongo.
I want to be Jeff Jarrett if we're doing like the new.
All right, we gotta come up with
Double J.
We'll figure it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this in the group chat. Y'all don't got to do this anymore, man. Right now, it's Three Musketeers. We signing out. It's your boy Nick Diddy here with the best stash in the game, Mr. Ben Doucette, and the man that made it all possible, my cousin Willie G. Thank y'all for joining us. Episode 81 in the books. There's no need to adjust your screen. It's not Bruce Buffer, but you've been here live with TFG. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.